Before I start the video, I do have to mention that we made it to 6,000 subscribers. Remember I said we needed 42 to get to 6,000? Well, we didn't just get 42, we got 324, which is absolutely amazing. And I say we because loads of you have helped grow this channel by sharing it, by letting your family and friends know about it, and by hyping it. And I can't thank you enough. I really can't. Made up. So onto the video. Now, I've been doing a lot, and I mean a lot, of thinking about what I saw against Brentford and what I saw against Man United and the games before that. But it was yesterday when one thing really stood out. Now, I've talked about the starting 11, which I'm convinced the manager is getting wrong too often. I've talked about players playing out of position and playing too many out of form players. And I've talked about the need to blend the new recruits into a title winning team and not force fit them in the way he's been doing. And all of these are really, really valid reasons for what's going on at the moment. So I'm not trying to underestimate or downplay their importance. They're all vitally important. But there's one other massive contributing factor that is equally as important, if not more important, than those I've just mentioned. And it can be summed up in a few words: heart, passion, desire, determination, and pride. Now, I've been watching every other team lately, like Villa today versus Man City, like Sunderland at Chelsea, like Brentford against us, and many other of the so-called lesser teams. And all of them I've watched this weekend all play with heart, passion, desire and fire in their bellies, high-fiving each other when they make a block, chest bumping the keeper when he makes a save, urging the crowd on when he slides it out for a throw-in or win a corner, Steven Gerrard like, to increase the noise and pandemonium in the stadium and to add to their own adrenaline. But with us at the moment, there's little to none of it. I mean, look at yesterday. Sepp Vandenberg, a player surplus to requirements at Liverpool, put his body on the line time and time again to make sure that nothing got past him. And it wasn't just because it was against us, it's because that's what Brentford do. I watched Villa players flying into challenges today to either win the ball or block a shot, and their teammates visually screaming at them in congratulations. Because they're acting as a team. That's what a team does. Are our defenders doing that? Are any of our players doing that? 3 or 4, maybe, at the most. Remember what that gesture from Steven Gerrard did in Istanbul. His passion fed the crowd, and the Liverpool fans' passion fed the players, and the belief spread from the field to the stands and back again. And a team who'd been outplayed and outclassed went on to win the Champions League. That's what belief does. Remember who scored to get us through in the quarter-final against Olympiacos? Neil Mellor and Florence Sinema-Pongolle and Steven Gerrard. In the final at Istanbul, we started with the likes of Jimmy Traore, Harry Kewell and Milan Baros. Players who probably wouldn't get into the Liverpool team or even considered high enough quality to be in the Liverpool squad today. On the bench, our options included the likes of Scott Carson, Hosami, Antonio Nunez and Igor Biscan, and we won the Champions League because of heart and desire and passion. And what about the team that beat Barcelona 4-0 when Firmino and Salah were both unavailable and were 3-0 down? And he was supplemented by Origi and Shaqiri, bit part players. And it showed what heart and desire and the power of belief can do. And I'm not just reminiscing here for the sake of it. This is what we expect from any Liverpool team, from any Liverpool player. The reason the likes of Igor Biscan, Darwin Núñez, Joey Jones and now Endo have cult hero status with Liverpool fans, it's not because they were the greatest players in terms of quality, but they each gave everything every week in every game. Now, I've heard the theory thrown around in the last 24 hours that the players have down tools and they've stopped playing for the manager, and that can happen. We've seen it at other teams, but I'm not sure that's the case at all here. But even if it is, if any of those players have suddenly decided that they are not going to play for the manager, then it's not acceptable. Because at Liverpool, you're not playing for the manager. You're playing for the privilege of wearing that shirt. You're playing for the privilege of playing for England's biggest and most successful club ever. And you're playing for the privilege of playing for the greatest fans in the world. That's who you're playing for. And you can't ever forget that. And you can't ever take it for granted. Because if you lack desire and you lack the will to put in maximum effort every week in that iconic shirt, then honestly you don't have what it takes to be a Liverpool player. Shanks once said he would tell his players that they were lucky to be playing for Liverpool, and that he drilled into them that it was a privilege for them to play for the fans. So not showing fight, desire, passion, determination is simply not acceptable when you're wearing the Liverbird on your chest. It's the minimum required expectation of all players, regardless of status. And it is an ethos that was first instilled by the great Bill Shankly in the early 1960s, and which has remained true to this day, and which will always remain true. Now, you, like me, have seen far worse Liverpool teams and players with less natural ability than those we've got today. We've seen it over the years. But remember, these are last season's title winners. But I'm hard pushed, and I've really thought about this, to think of any Liverpool team lacking the fight that has been on display in these last few weeks. Can you think of it? Maybe during that horrendous Roy Hodgson few months. But other than that, even then, I'm not sure it was a lack of desire. But yesterday, other than Dominic Szoboszlai and Ekitike, who's shown it through the last few games, Chiesa and Robbo, who's shown it for years, who else out there showed fight and desire and a will to win? Who out there got angry that things weren't going right? Who out there showed genuine desire and determination to win that game? But not just the game, but to win the duels and the tackles and the 50-50s. Because if you win them, you generally win the game anyway. Where was it? I didn't see it. So what I'm suggesting is that other than the few names I just mentioned, that around 10 of that squad yesterday who took the field did not show the appetite, the passion and the pride in their own individual performance. And that got me thinking. I've watched Liverpool for decades with players ranging from world class to average, to be honest. But I can't think of 10 players over the years, not just in the last few weeks, over all those years. I'm racking my brain thinking, can I think of 10 players who just didn't put the effort in? And it's just not a factor for Liverpool players. They've always put the effort in. So to be accused of lacking heart, passion and desire is about as damning a criticism that can be levied at you as a Liverpool player. Now, Virgil's comments that we need the fans' support, the ones that cheered us on in our success last year, that's a comment that has divided opinion, and it can be interpreted a couple of different ways. Some are interpreting it that he was accusing fans of not showing support. And maybe I'm being overly generous, but I choose to believe it was more of a rallying cry from him. He, as much as anyone else, knows just how brilliant his Liverpool support is. But whichever side of the fence you're on with this, The general response I've seen from people I've talked to and from all of the things I've seen posted on social media is that it has to be reciprocated, Virgil. You want the crowd to show passion and support, which of course they will. Well, you've got to do it too, because it's been missing. The only emotion I've seen from Virgil lately has been anger directed towards a 21-year-old struggling under the weight of the shirt. And a captain should be encouraging Milos Kerkez and the entire team, not yelling at him, not denting his confidence in public. Showing public disdain for a young kid who's struggling in his first season at Liverpool is not leadership. Virgil needs to channel that anger, those emotions, into a positive approach, not the negativity of lambasting a teammate. And I'm singling out Virgil because he's the captain, but he's by no means the only one. Now, I'm sure most of you, or loads of you at least, have played football at amateur level. Not only not getting paid, but having to pay your subs to play. You had to pay the team to play. And having to get up on a Sunday morning and go around breaking up the ice on the field so the referee doesn't call it off. Having to hang the nets, no changing rooms, middle of winter. But we played for the love of it. And I played with dozens of players who put their heart and soul into those amateur games every single weekend because it mattered. Because you were letting people down if you didn't. And these players, the Liverpool players, they're not breaking up any ice on a pitch on a Sunday morning. They've got every possible luxury. They're millionaires in their 20s. So the least we fans can expect, the very least, is fight and desire and showing us that for you, it is a privilege to be playing for this club and for the world's greatest fans. And the manager has to show it too. I want to see him coming out with fighting talk. Lose the shackles of diplomacy, mate. React to these defeats like you did last year in the Merseyside derby when you finally lost your rag. Now is not the time to look all calm, collected and unruffled. It's time for you to ruffle these players' feathers and show passion and show that for you, this level of lethargy is not acceptable. Tell them if you're not up for the fight, then you're not going to take part in the fight. And it'll only be the fighters and the grafters that do take part. Now, obviously, very clearly, we've got high caliber, high quality, elite quality players, but quality without industry wins you nothing, and we're not seeing the industry required. So get your sleeves rolled up, all of you, and that includes the manager as well. But first, Arnie, and I'm talking to you, I know you're not going to watch, but I'm still talking to you. Get all the fighters on the pitch. And we do have fighters, like Robbo, like Chiesa, like Ekatike, like McAllister, like Gravenberch, like Endo, like Gomez, like Bradley has shown many times before, and especially like the one standout player this season in terms of desire and commitment, Dominic Szoboszlai. Light a fire under the others and tell them that if they don't come off that pitch with their shirt soaked in sweat because of the shift they've put in, then they haven't done enough to put that shirt back on for the next game. And that goes for absolutely everyone, whether you're the captain or you're one of the greatest goal scorers we've ever had, or you're the German player of the year, or anyone else. Status doesn't come into it when you're talking about heart and desire and commitment. And we need that heart and desire and a laser focused will to win from the manager and every single player, irrespective of status. Get that right and the quality will take care of itself. Finally, it's been noted that even under Jürgen, we had a post-title run of defeats similar to what we're experiencing now. So it's happened to us before and we will come through it. But just like back then, it requires hard work, desire, passion, pride and fight to turn it around. Starting against Crystal Palace this week. You'll never walk alone. See you soon. Cheers. Ta-ra.